Hello, welcome to the Movie Nights podcast with
Dion.
and Micah.
Woo! We're going to be reviewing a movie. It's nighttime right now, so strap yourself in for one of the best podcast reviewing movie things that you've ever seen and heard. What is the movie we're going to be looking at tonight?
Project Hail Mary,
Starring
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Wow, what a movie.
Should we get into it?
Let's deep dive.
Want to explain to the viewers why you're wearing those glasses?
Because, why not?
Okay, perfect. Well, Ryan does wear some cool glasses in the movie, so...
Well, cool is subjective.
Well, I think
He
they
wears
work for the
sunglasses.
character.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, director, I did see the corrector, Chris someone, I think, but
Yeah,
I've
Chris.
forgotten.
There was two of them.
Chris Miller? Did I invent that?
Possibly. One of their first names is Chris, and one of their surnames is Miller, probably. I think there was a Chris and a Phil, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, what do we need to know about this movie? It's based on a book.
Plot? Yes, it is based on a book, which I only learned during, before the
There you go.
movie. There was an
Do you
ad
know when
for
the book came out?
No, I don't. When?
It was only semi-recently, 2021. Written
Oh.
by Andy Weir, W-E-I-R, sounds
Okay,
German.
shout
Anyway, and he actually helped produce the movie, so that's a bit of a fun fact for you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I
There
learned
you
something
go.
new there.
Do you know
Well,
who else was a producer on the movie?
No.
Ryan Gosling.
Ah, okay.
Well,
All right, so a bit of a theme here because we've had was it Chris Hemsworth was involved in producing the last movie we saw?
was he?
Yeah, he was.
Can we name that movie?
We've already suppressed it.
Crime 101.
Crime 101. Was Chris Pratt involved in producing?
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
That movie. I've already
Yeah.
forgotten that one as well. Judgment, Jury.
the AI.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, that one.
we're not talking about those movies today.
We're not.
here to talk
Whoa.
about
We-
Project Hail Mary.
Yes. So do you want to talk about the plot of the movie?
The plot of the movie is, look, the suns, not just our sun, all the suns around the world, they're starting to die.
Around the world.
Around the universe,
Yep.
okay? They're dying. Except for one. And it's bare far away, but there's a bunch of scientist people and they're trying to figure out why that one isn't dying, so they have to send a mission to that place, but it's a one-way trip and it's most likely to fail. So hence the name Project Hail Mary, which is what they refer to the team and the spaceship. And that's the plot. They send people there to investigate without giving things away that happen in the movie. That's basically the gist.
Fair. Fair.
Was there anything more to add to that?
No, well, I was going to start to give spoilers, but we can now. We're here. You know this podcast.
You've probably seen the movie if you're watching this podcast.
I hope you have.
If you haven't, well, maybe you're listening / watching to this podcast instead of going to the movie. And you know what? I think we'll do it justice.
Just go watch it first.
Okay.
Okay. Overall impressions.
Overall impressions. I want to talk about my expectations.
Okay,
first.
expectations versus reality. Let's go.
Okay, so my expectations going into this movie, I had seen the trailer, so we knew that Ryan Gosling ends up in space, and we knew that there was some sort of alien creature. It didn't, from my recollection of the trailer, it was just kind of the hand on the weird glassy thing, and that was about the extent of it. They didn't show much beyond that, which I think was good, because I didn't realise kind of how the movie was going to, or the story was going to be told. Obviously, I haven't read the book, so I didn't really know what was going on. But yeah, I think the trailer did a good job of keeping it suspenseful enough that it was interesting, but not giving too many things away, which, yeah, I think a lot of trailers give too much away these days.
I agree. I actually wrote down the same thing. I said this is an example of how to do a good trailer, because it was enough that I was interested in seeing the movie, but there was enough mystery, and also I think I think there was a bit of a switcheroo there because I think the trailer would lead you to believe it was more of a classic sci-fi kind of thing.
I didn't know what we were getting in store for, if it was going to be kind of like Gravity or Interstellar or The Martian or, you know, any of those typical spacey movies. I didn't really know what the vibe was going to be. I thought it would be more chill compared to like Interstellar and The Martian. Martian's not, I wouldn't say it's not chill, but you know, there's quite a lot going on in The Martian. So, and I think that rung true. But I thought that overall the movie was done well. Like it was an enjoyable watch.
I agree that it was definitely more chill than like Interstellar or The Martian. But what made you think from the trailer that it was going to be like that?
Well, you just see space and you just assume, you know, like what can they do?
Wait, but you thought it was going to be more chill than those other movies even going into it?
Well, yes, just based on what was shown in the trailer. And as you said,
okay.
that was a bit of a switcheroo. Like they, you know, lent more into the alien side of things. Like that played a much more prominent role than, you know, the figuring out the problem of the suns dying was actually a fairly minimal part of the movie compared to what the trailer led us to believe.
Yeah. Which I appreciated because I'm not big on the whole apocalypse movies. I don't need to be depressed about that. So it's nice. It was nice to just have a bit of a kiki.
Would you classify this movie as sci-fi?
Okay, this is literally the question I wrote down. Is like, what genre are we putting this in? Because I don't know. I feel like it can't be sci-fi, right? Like,
well, there's certainly elements of science fiction.
Elements of sci-fi, but I think people who enjoy sci-fi would probably be offended if this was like lumped in there.
Possibly, yes. Yeah, it was realism with a bit of sci-fi mixed in. So I guess drama.
But then there were comedy elements
as
well.
There were. I'd say drama x comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there was enough comedy in there that I reckon you could slap the comedy label on it.
I agree.
It was...
It was a blend. We've got fusion. Fusion was happening.
Yeah, it was okay.
Maybe we need to look up at the end for our little activity. We need to look up what genre people are saying this movie is in.
I like it.
Yeah.
They'll probably say it's horror.
Drop a comment. What genre would you put this movie into?
I would also be interested to see that. And also, while I'm thinking of it, can you put in the comments, do you think Project Hail Mary starring Ryan Gosling, I was about to say Ryan Reynolds, but no, Ryan Gosling, do you think the movie itself, would you classify it as Big Boy? I'll be interested to hear your takes on that.
Had to get in there early with the Big Boy.
Look, guys, Big Boy merch. It's coming soon.
Big Boy merch. Shall we get into the overall theme of the movie? Well, I think the overall theme was kind of around like friendship and perseverance and sacrifice and these kinds of heroic sort of messages.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is that fair? Likes and dislikes. Shall we get into it?
Yes, I would like to hear your likes and dislikes.
Well, one of my key likes, which I was not expecting from the trailer, is that I think that the editing and the use of flashbacks was excellent. So, like, they start the movie with him basically being almost at the planet, like he's...
Yep.
Or Brocky's ship, whatever. He's pretty much almost arrived, and then kind of interspersed throughout the movie, you get the flashbacks of his time on Earth and how he ended up there. And I think in general, movies with the flashback thing, like often it's essential, but I feel like it's never like perfect. Like it's never done super well, because I always feel like there's a point in the movie where one storyline becomes way better than the other one, and then you're kind of going between the flashbacks and the current, and you're like, yeah, I got it, like, just show me the good bits, you know?
True.
Whereas I feel like
that's fair,
in this one, there wasn't a time where I felt like, oh, nah, sick of this, go back to the other time period, you know?
That's true, and that's probably because it focused more around one character, so you're always, no matter where, if you're going back in time or to the current time, it's always surrounding the main character, which is Ryan Gosling's character.
True. Yeah, true.
Is there a movie that you can think of that's done not time travel, the flashbacks poorly? Is there one that comes to mind?
Yeah, like heaps.
Okay. Let the viewers know. Throw some shade. Here we go.
I mean, one movie which is dear and special to me for many reasons, but one movie that I just think this could have been done a bit better was Mao's Last Dancer. So if you're into dancing and you watch this movie, they basically start the movie kind of halfway through the book, and then they kind of flash back to him as like sort of growing up in China and like being raised as a dancer, etc. Which is fine, but as someone who enjoyed the books, I mean, to be fair, maybe people feel the same about this movie, because if you've read the book, I don't know, maybe the book isn't chronological, and so maybe you would find this a bit jarring.
Well, to those people, I say grow up. So, just enjoy what you're being given, all right? You've paid $4 to see the movie, so just relax, guys.
What's the movies? You like the Bourne Identity ones?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I feel like the flashbacks are done well in that movie.
They are. Yeah, the first 3 Bourne movies, that's true. Those wouldn't have come to my mind, but now that you say it, yes. The flashbacks in those do a good job of painting the picture and filling in the blanks and just keeping things interesting, keeping the mystery going, and who is this guy and whatnot. So yes, that is a good example.
I'm interested what you think of this, but my read on Project Hail Mary is that even though the flashbacks are happening, I don't think that them showing the flashbacks is him actually remembering the things. Because even like partway through the movie, he's still writing on his whiteboard being like, who am I? Am I smart?
Correct.
Am I,
yeah, that's
you know?
right. Yes, so you're right. The flashbacks are not him remembering things that's happened to him. It's just to fill us in as the viewer. He still has no clue what's going on.
Whereas in the Bourne movies, does he like get that
back? Yes, that does help his memory. So, so there you go. Mao's Last Dancer.
Mao's Last Dancer.
Mao's Last Dancer. Trash flashbacks.
No,
Bourne movies. Good flashbacks. Project Hail Mary, also good flashbacks. So there you go. That's a little short for you.
Yeah.
My likes.
Yes.
I'm going to say my dislike first because I always struggle with the likes and dislikes, but I've got one for each. So dislikes, which is what I shared with you immediately after the movie, was I did think it was too long. Unnecessarily long. I think, a 2.5 hour runtime. I can't pinpoint scenes that could have been cut, but I do reckon there could have been half an hour gone. And it wouldn't have taken away from the intended viewing experience. So I think a 2 hour runtime for this would have done. I don't think it, I don't care. I'll sit there for another half an hour, but I know that is a big deal to some people, and I don't know. Just for this, I could have saved them some money. So, I felt that the pacing was reasonable in this movie, or in general, I think the kind of gaps and silences were used like fairly tastefully. Like, again, from the trailer, I kind of thought that what we were going to see was really the journey of him kind of getting to the alien ship, etc. But really, like, it just kind of cut out a lot of that junk, which was nice. That's true, because their interaction of them meeting each other happened pretty quickly, to be fair. You would expect that, based on the trailer, that to be kind of the climax of the movie, but it was actually, no, we want to get to this storyline as soon as possible and then really flesh that out, which I think was the right call, because I think, okay, so my like of the movie is the way they've directed and captured the chemistry and camaraderie between Ryan Gosling's character, Grace, and the alien, Rocky. Hard to do, because Rocky obviously is an alien, a rock formation, and obviously doesn't speak like Earth language, but you know, they overcome that, and I think that was captured well. But you know, that's a pretty significant challenge to demonstrate, you know, banter and rapport building and, you know, chemistry between two characters that are so vastly different. And I think it was done excellently.
I agree.
I think the only, like, because when I watch a movie, I was trying to explain this to someone at work. So when I think of on-screen chemistry, I always go to, I can't remember their real people names, Patrick somebody and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring movies, because, man, they are fantastic on screen. Like, it just sells that they are a real life couple doing things in real life, and just happens to be as part of a movie. Like, the on-screen chemistry is just through the roof, and unless it's any other movie, I don't think, oh yeah, the chemistry between these people were really good. Like, the person at my work said Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I was like, you know, with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and I'm like, yes, they're a couple in the movie, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, the chemistry is so good. It just wasn't, it didn't grip me. But I mean, you don't have to be a couple, because it's the point I'm going to make is that Ryan Gosling and the character Rocky, I would lump in with
wow.
Yeah, The Conjuring. Like, it was that good. The chemistry and the bond between them and how it was portrayed. I thought it almost, like, that's such a monumental task to do. And I think they've smashed it. Oh, there's another one that I would also draw a comparison to.
Okay.
Which would be what I'll come to at the end, because I know we're going to say, if you like something, then you'll probably like this movie, and it's something that we've also discussed a little bit, so you probably know where I'm going with that. Also, that chemistry, similar setup where you've got a main character that talks and then a character that doesn't really talk. So, and I think that was done well, but I'll come to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, the chemistry, the bond, the connection between Ryan Gosling's character and Rocky, fantastic. 10 out of 10 on that.
And, like, honestly, if that hadn't been there, the whole movie probably would have fallen to bits.
It was correct. Like, it was a huge task. It absolutely hinged on the effectiveness of that, and I thought they smashed it out of the park. So, props to the writers, the director, the author, the producers, everybody on set. They had a really important role, and I think they did really well. And obviously Ryan Gosling as well, because brother can act.
Yeah.
So, respect.
Yeah. I was going to say that was probably my next is, you know, we've seen Ryan Gosling in a few different things now, and I guess most recently in the Barbie movie, and I guess
And Fall Guy.
I think what I have started to associate him with is comedy roles, even though I wasn't thinking of that when I went into this movie. And when there started to become comedy elements creeping in, the thing that I think was really nice is that I didn't feel like I was watching Ken, because I would worry that, like, Ryan Gosling kind of acting comedy like would slip into I'm just watching Ken. But I didn't feel like that at all.
Very fair comment. Yes, I agree.
So he obviously does well to disappear into the character, because I did, like I was obviously wrong, but I did kind of feel like watching Barbie that he was so like Ken that he could just do Ken and it was just him kind of being a dork. But in fact, it does go to show, like, okay, he obviously is really acting, and he is a good actor, because he can do these, like, different kinds of comedy roles. And I'm not at all thinking about the previous characters. I'm thinking about that character.
That's so true. Yeah. There you go. Shout out Ryan Gosling.
And also, like, he has like a very likable kind of nature in the movies, so yeah, kudos. And
Okay.
also to say, this is an example of a movie that pretty much does just have one character.
Yes.
Like, we had the Chris Pratt AI movie that was pretty much just focused on one character with a side character, and we were kind of saying, like,
it was just a bit boring.
It didn't really sell.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chris Pratt's character in that movie, can't think of the name of the movie, but yeah, he was confined, to be fair, he himself was confined to one room, but like through AI and videos and stuff, he was kind of traveling all over the space. So yeah, whereas Ryan Gosling's character, they were, to be fair, he was confined to a ship most of the time, but they had the flashbacks and, you know, they were doing other things. So he wasn't just strapped to a chair.
That is true. Do you have any other likes to add? Because I do have a bit of a list.
Oh, okay. No, hit me with them.
One thing, I wasn't actively looking for this, but because usually after we watch the movies, we try and film the pod straight away. But
it's been a few days.
It's been a couple of days since we actually watched the movie, and inadvertently, I did see a little bit of behind the scenes content in my feed.
Okay.
And if this is true, it sounds like all of the ship details and things that they had in this movie were all practical effects, like no green screen.
Respect. Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm going to amend my score based on that comment. So if it's not true, but
we
like practical effects.
Obviously, they weren't in space, but like the actual...
Yeah, the sets were actual
yeah.
built sets instead of just VFX, CGI. And you know what? I think the movie was better off for it. CGI sucks. You heard it here first. Practical effects for the win.
Yeah. Like, I do think it sold, and like, I'm sure for Ryan being an actor who's essentially acting to a stick, I'm sure,
That's right.
for 90% of this movie, actually having something physical to interact with probably would have been nice and made him feel a bit more
Otherwise,
like
he's just in a green, and he's just like, oh, this is what we want you to do. And he's like, okay, I have really no idea what this is actually going to look like. How am I supposed to use any of this? So yes, practical effects, the way to go. We love that.
Fair. Look, I'm no physicist, so I'm sure if there are any budding physicists, they can leave comments to kind of critique the science and things. But I do think, from my limited knowledge of like chemistry, biology kind of things, like some of the content that they were alluding to was like largely kind of plausible, and like, you know, there's a scene at the beginning where Brian's character is brought onto the ship, and there's a whole kind of round table, and they're talking about the astrophages, and they're talking about, oh, you know, do they reproduce via mitosis or meiosis? And I was like, oh, yes, there's some biology, like there's some factoids in this movie.
That really resonated with me too, as a you know, someone in the kind of science medical field. You know, there was lots of words used that I understood. So that's a joke.
I do think in general, like, there was some novelty to this movie in that it was different to other space movies. Yeah, and I think like that novelty will put it in good stead against other space movies.
I think so. As I was watching the movie, I was thinking to myself, like, does this have much rewatchability?
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. Yeah, okay.
And whilst I was watching it, probably for the first 3/4, I was thinking, I think this is a one-time watch. You know, like, there's things that are happening, and I'm just like, would this be as good or still enjoyable knowing what's going to happen? I didn't know, but, you know, given, you know, taking the movie as a full, I do think it's got some rewatchability.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of fun.
It is a bit of fun. I think that this movie is probably one of them that's in that category of like movies that you really like and enjoy, but you're not necessarily going to rewatch it all of the time. Like, I do think there's, like, a special category of movies. Like, even your favourite movies,
you don't watch your favourite movies all the time. Like, some of my favourite movies I haven't seen in 10 plus years. So, because favourite movie differs from best movie. You know, and to be fair, even the best movies I don't rewatch all the time. So, it's just whatever I feel like at the moment. In the moment. So.
Fair. Now, I kind of put this comment in the middle because I wasn't sure how I felt. How did you feel about the ending?
I was worried, but because, you know, it could have gone a few different ways, I think that was the right ending. That made the most sense. Are we just going to talk about what the ending was?
Yeah, of course.
So the ending is... So Rocky's ship essentially donates enough fuel to Grace so that he can return to Earth and Rocky can get back to his home planet. But then there's like a leak in the antidote or whatever they have, and it was eating away at the astrophage, which is the fuel. So Grace's character identified that and then realised that Rocky's whole ship's made of this stuff, so he's going to have no fuel immediately. He's just going to be left stranded in space. So Grace's character needs to make a judgment call. Hey, do I return to Earth, which I can do, or do I go and save Rocky but then not return to Earth? And I was thinking, brother, if you don't go save Rocky, I'm going to slap you, because he had nothing on Earth. So, you know, that's why they drugged him and forced him to go on the mission anyway, because they knew that he had no one and no purpose. Like, he was just kind of chilling. So, you know, and he formed a good bond with Rocky, and so I think saving him was the right call. And obviously then he does save Rocky, and Rocky is like, yo, you're the best. And then kind of cuts out a little bit, because like it doesn't explain how they then get fuel to go to... Oh, they must have taken Grace's ship. Anyway,
yeah, they take Grace's ship.
They take Grace's ship to Rocky's planet. Erid, yes. Yeah. Good remembering. And then obviously their species are really smart, being aliens, and they create like a biosphere for Grace, which is like a beach, because he loves beach. Ken. And yeah, and so Grace is just basically chilling on a version of Earth, but on Erid. And then Rocky's like, well, our scientists have designed a ship or the fuel or whatever it was. We can get you back to Earth. Do you want to go? And he's like, oh, let me have a think about it. Anyway, and then it cuts to him like teaching a class, like, well, just like a visual of him teaching a class. And then it turns around and it's all the little kitty Rocky aliens instead of a class of humans, which I thought was the right call. Because Rocky just thinks he's a bro, you know, and it was just so nice.
I do think that, I know we'd briefly spoken about the ending when we got out of the movie, and that you felt like it was the right call because he didn't have anything on Earth. But I don't know whether that was like a totally logical choice by Grace at the time, because I don't know, in the sense that...
Well, he would always change his mind.
No. Well, in the sense that I don't know if he really remembers how he was treated fully.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. He doesn't remember that he had nothing as well.
Yeah.
He's just presuming he had nothing. Like, all he knows is Rocky, essentially. He's never... And a couple of dead bodies.
Yeah. Like,
he doesn't know anybody, so... to be fair, he does kind of reference the people in the videos that he sends them with the antidote. Like, he knows why he's on the mission.
True.
He does figure that out.
True.
Don't really know how he figured that out, but anyway, we won't pick at it. Yeah. It was a feel-good ending. And that's just what I wanted from this movie. There was a couple of scenes throughout the movie where they could have taken a bit of a depressing or a dark turn, and, they bait you in with it, but then, boom, it's feel good. It always comes out feel good. Sometimes you just want that.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair. Dislikes? Did you have any other dislikes you wanted to bring up?
I didn't have anything written down, tell me some of your dislikes, and I'll
Okay.
see if I can add to it in some way.
Well, I don't know if this is a dislike, but just like a point of, like, kind of interest that I had in the movie is there's a scene where they're having the sort of almost going away party kind of thing. There's karaoke happening, and Grace goes up to the sort of head honcho girl who's running this whole project.
The German chick, yep.
And says to her, like, how can you basically ask people to give up their lives? And she's like, oh, it's actually not hard at all. And then kind of later, like slightly later in the movie, then, you know, she's doing the karaoke and she gets upset during the karaoke, you know, kind of seeing everyone that she's now asked to sacrifice themselves, and then she kind of walks out. And then, like later, obviously, then she sort of forces Grace into the mission, and she's like, oh, you know, please don't make this more difficult than it has to be. Like, I wondered with her character, like, whether, like, does she actually believe that it's not, does she actually believe it's easy to ask someone to do that, or does she just feel like she has to say that?
No, I think, like, if you're phrasing it as if, like, hey, we need you to do this mission, you're going to be saving the planet, you're qualified, yes, you're going to die, but, like, you've got an opportunity to save all of us. I do think there would be volunteers. Like, in a real world scenario, I do think there would be people who would just be like, yeah, no worries, send me there, I'll save the world, save the universe. So it's interesting how Grace even ended up in that situation, because obviously we had presumably some of the astrophage exploding and killing the people.
Yeah.
Like, did that kill the people who were supposed to be on the ship, and then that's why they needed him? That kind of just happened.
I think they do suggest that the scientist dies in that, which is why they need him. But that was also one of my kind of dislikes or question marks, was like, it made it seem like a bunch of the stuff that they needed to be able to leave was destroyed, and so they didn't, like...
They do say that, you know, 2,000 or 2 million kilos or 2 million kilos from memory of astrophage was enough to blow up California.
Yeah.
And, you know, that just blew up a bunker. And like, they used 1 gram and destroyed like a whole cubic meter of solid metal. So based on that explosion, I don't think that was very much.
Yeah, okay.
Like, that might have been 10 grams or 20 grams.
Okay,
you know?
fair enough.
You know, a drop in the ocean compared to 20 million or 2 million kilos. So, yeah, the whole concept of breeding the astrophage, it kind of went over my head. I just followed the movie. I'm just like, okay, he's doing a thing and it's doing what he wants it to do. Great, okay, no worries. You probably got more out of that than I did.
Like, a little bit. Like, it was kind of interesting when he was like, you know, like what is this? Is this a living thing? Okay, it has a cell wall, blah, blah, blah.
And what's the name of the bodyguard? Carl, or...
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, was it Carl?
Yeah, something like that. And he's the one who actually jokingly guessed right how to breed the astrophage. So that's pretty funny that it was just a bodyguard who actually found that out. So anyway.
He was a good addition. He was a good character to have in there.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of just left him after a bit. I mean, they didn't really show Earth. Oh, that's actually not true. They didn't really show Earth post Grace getting knocked out and, you know, put on the mission. What did you think about... So obviously, when we do go back to Earth, we've got Grace has sent the videos to the head German chick lady. She's somewhere in Antarctica on a icebreaker ship. You know, she looks visibly older. You know, she's probably, I don't know, 30 or 40, no, maybe 20 or 30 years older. She looks older, not old, but older, which makes sense. Yeah, that was just a bit strange. Like, she didn't really celebrate. Like, oh my gosh,
Well, I think she says, like, let's get started or something.
True.
I think that's what she says.
True, but like...
I mean, this is a lady who showed no emotion, really, the whole movie.
But, like, does she know that aliens exist? I guess. But, like, there's video of Rocky that he's given her, and she's just like, oh, okay. I'm just going to ignore that. You know? I'm glad Also, because humans are kind of annoying, right? Like, if the humans knew where Erod was, or knew, had the coordinates for Erod, they would totally go there and just ransack the place. So it's good that they don't know that he's gone back. They just assume he's sent the probes and died.
Yeah.
As per the original mission. Because he didn't have enough fuel to get back. I don't know how much he... Anyway, I could go down a rabbit hole with that. Fair. Tell me some of your other dislikes. I know you've probably got at least one more.
I don't know if this was a dislike so much as, again, a question, but just like, obviously the communication between Rocky and Grace developed like very, very quickly. Like, obviously Grace is very intelligent, and like it's
Rocky's very intelligent as well.
Rocky is clearly very intelligent. It's sort of hard to conceive, like people talk about, how would aliens communicate with humans and this type of thing.
Look, they very quickly found out that they were trying to solve the same problem, because that's why Rocky was out in space, is because he was trying to solve that same problem with the sun's dying, because he was trying to save the sun, or his son, for Erod. So they were very quickly found out they were on the same page, they were on the same team, and they needed to figure out a way to communicate. And once they had that system in place to track some words, I'm sure that they have infinite time. Like, it could have been 12 months condensed down into 2 minutes of viewing, to get, because they said, got a catalogue of 250 words, but obviously that then expanded, because like, what else are they going to be doing? Just...
The last kind of interesting thing to say is that this movie was produced, sponsored, whatever, by Amazon.
True. So you'll be able to watch it, no doubt, on...
Amazon Prime, I assume.
Amazon Prime. If it's on other streaming services, well, that's great. If streaming doesn't exist in the future, well, I don't know where you can watch it then. Blockbuster.
Streaming will, I'm sure, continue
Video
to exist.
easy.
I mean, how do we feel about Amazon producing a space movie?
Checks out.
It does check out.
We'll just wait for Elon to create a streaming service. Maybe he already has one, I don't know.
Maybe he does.
He's got X.
True. Best scene, favourite scene.
I suspect our favourite scene is the same, so I'll hand it over to you. What is our favourite scene?
Well, I hope you're going to say the same. My favourite scene is when Rocky first becomes his housemate, and he's like doing the kind of solo, video camera diary, whatever, and he's like commenting on how difficult it is to live with Rocky. Was yours the same?
Yes, that is also my favourite scene.
Because it was quite funny.
Because I think we were the main ones laughing at the cinema, because we both found it hilarious. It was relatable.
Whoa.
Just the banter, and that was probably the most Ken vibes in the movie, I reckon.
But it didn't take me out of it.
No, it didn't take me out of it. It felt very real.
Yeah.
And it was just, it gave us a good giggle.
Yeah, it did.
And, that helped build the bond and the connection and the chemistry that we've been talking about.
Yeah. I guess, are you also giving best performance to Ryan Gosling? Not that there's many other options, but...
I've got 2.
Okay.
One of them is Ryan Gosling.
Okay.
And the second one is Rocky.
Fair.
What a legend.
Fair.
Love Rocky.
Worst scene.
I don't really have a worst scene.
Okay.
I can never think. Because you know what it is. When I watch the movie, especially for the first time, if there's a scene that sucks, I just forget it.
Okay.
So I remember the good scenes. I'd have to now re-watch the movie, because I can cut out the, oh my gosh, what's going to happen, because I already know, and I can then focus on the worst scene. And I don't want to focus on the worst scene while I'm watching the movie for the first time. So I don't have a worst scene, or can't recall one. Do you have one?
I don't know if this is a worse scene so much as just difficult to watch, which is like obviously when they force him to go on the mission and then they're like tranquilizing him and like that's just a bit hard to watch. But it was necessary for the movie, so
you can't really call that a worse scene.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Do you have
but
any...
we value your opinion as the viewers.
Do you have any worst performances?
Worst performances. I probably could think of one.
Okay. I didn't have any because I think everyone was appropriately cast, and there was nothing that took me out of it. Everyone did a good job. The characters they all served their purpose. So
yeah, I think look, if I'm gonna nitpick, I think the German chick, because like she's a goodie but she's a baddie, she's ultimately doing things for good, but she's still a bit evil.
As in but do you think that was like not a good acting performance?
I think it was pretty dry. I think that's just
I think that was
Germans.
Her character though.
Yeah.
I think her character, like the script was...
Give me a bit more. Like, give me a bit more emotion. You can't just be like, oh, we go to space now. Save Earth. Oh, okay, you got the thing, and yeah, now I'm happy. So, I would just have liked to see a little bit more emotion. You can be stoic, and imposing and intimidating as a strong female character, but just thought it was a bit, if I had to nitpick, like it wasn't bad, I was just saying, if you could replace anyone in that movie, that's probably the role, right? Like there's only there's only half a dozen, like all the other background scientists and stuff, I don't remember any of them, like sure, like they're on screen for 2 seconds, so who cares?
I think she was the right casting. Maybe what would have helped is that if after Grace had been sent on the mission, she had just a 10-second scene where she just had a little bit of a meltdown.
Yeah. I think, just show a bit of emotion.
Yeah. Or
a bit of remorse for what you've done, because she's kind of just like, oh, I'm a bit, sorry it has to come to this, oh well. And then it cuts, the next time we see her from memory is her smiling after Grace saving the planet. Let's get started. Not, come on, you legend! Yes!
Shall we get into a little activity, which I think a good activity is to look at what genre people are saying this movie is.
Okay. My prediction is drama comedy.
Okay.
Because I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Could it be thriller? Thriller comedy? Nah, it's not really a thriller.
I don't think...
I guess it has to be drama comedy.
Yeah,
I think there's enough
agree.
comedy in the movie for it to have a comedy badge. It's got drama, it's got suspense.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
it's not a thriller. It's not action. It could be sci-fi comedy or sci-fi drama. It kind of needs the comedy badge, I'm not going to lie.
This is the Google AI response initially.
Okay.
So it blends hard science fiction novel and film.
Okay.
That blends space adventure, thrilling exploration, and character-driven storytelling. That is not the helpful thing I was hoping for. Wikipedia.com.
Wikipedia. Guys, put in the chat if you used to use Wikipedia when you were in school. Or if you are still in school. Do people still use... Okay, here's a question. Is Wikipedia now obsolete because of AI, ChatGPT? Are people who are going to be doing school assignments or university assignments or work projects, are they going to be turning to Wikipedia, or are they just going to go straight to ChatGPT? I think I know the answer. I'm curious to hear what you have to think about this. Now, while I've been saying that, Mike has very clearly been reading the genre on Wikipedia, and it is...
Well, the book they're saying is science fiction.
Makes sense, but that's...
Let's go to the film page.
Okay.
They're saying it's a 2026 science fiction adventure film. Interesting.
Yeah, okay. Adventure to me, like when someone slaps an adventure logo on something, that screams comedy to me. So, science fiction comedy, I'm going to call it there.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. Because there's no doubt about it, there's elements of science fiction. I mean, there's an alien in it. Aliens.
True.
Well, Sigourney Weaver. No. Sure
do you want to talk about your score?
My score, I would like to... I can't remember for the life of me the scores that I've given. I vaguely recall Wicked 1 or Wicked 2 got an 8. So I don't know if I've given above an 8. Will this be the first movie of mine that cracks the 8? Or will it be... I mean, as we all know, my category, if it could be rewatched, it has to get at least a 5. And I stand by that. It can be not rewatchable and still get above a 5, but if it is rewatchable, it has to get at least a 5. I think that's fair. So I've said it's rewatchable, so it's at least got a 5, but I'm going to go over to you first for your ranking.
I struggled a little bit with this because I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was novel. I think for me, sci-fi has just never been my favorite genre, but out of all the sci-fi movies I've probably seen, this is definitely one of the best, if not the best. I would say the other two that would stand out are obviously Interstellar and The Martian. I think Interstellar is just one of those movies that is always going to be iconic. But would I go back to it every day? No. So I'd probably enjoy watching Project Hail Mary more, on a day-to-day basis, just because it's a bit lighter.
It's lighter and feel good.
More palatable,
Yes.
on a day-to-day basis. Whereas Interstellar, I feel like I have to have a bit of an existential crisis.
You need to invest some time and some emotional capacity too. Whereas Project Hail Mary, you can just have one in the background.
Yeah. So, with all of that in mind, I have given it an 8.75. I think that it was basically as well executed as it could have been, but in terms of movies, if I'm thinking about something that I would be inclined to give above a 9, I very nearly did. Something that I would give in that kind of 9 to 10 range needs to be I'm absolutely gagged. This is the most insane thing I've ever seen. And there's only a few movies that I feel I can completely put in that category. Anyway, that's my rationale.
8.75. I think that's a fair ranking.
Okay.
I'm still tossing up in my head what I would like to give this film. Got to take on board your comments about it being the set being mostly practical effects. That does bump it up. So I'm going to give the film Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling, starring Rocky, a 8.9.
Oh, okay. Nice. I think that might be the closest we've been in scores, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I thought, as you've pointed out, for what it was, it would be very hard to do a better job. It was just an enjoyable watching experience. They had a bit of everything, but ultimately a feel-good movie, and love that.
We did go to see this in what is now not officially, but at least at one point was an IMAX theatre.
True, it was one of the biggest 2D screens in the Southern Hemisphere.
And I did see some people commenting on social media. Again, I didn't specifically solicit this, but it did come up in my feed. People saying that they really recommended seeing it in IMAX, which totally makes sense for this kind of movie. But do you think that your viewing experience / score would have been different if it had not been in IMAX?
No, I don't, because the reality is majority of the movie is actually in the ship.
True.
If you were spending a lot of time doing spacewalks and looking at planets and doing all these other cool things and looking at kind of the environment, then yes, I think you would benefit from IMAX or, a bigger screen. But because majority of the time is actually inside and flashback scenes, don't think that takes away from the viewing experience at all. I think seeing it on a big screen full stop is better. But, you're going to put up with annoying people when you go to the cinema, so, it's pluses and minuses. But, anyway.
Now, I haven't particularly solicited this either, but from the reception that I've seen after watching the movie, it sounds that everyone is very positive about this movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I purposefully keep myself in the dark about looking up the movie post because I don't want my opinions to be influenced by other commentary that I see. So, okay, there you go.
I actually...
I am a little bit surprised...
Me too.
...that it's, if what you're saying is true, that it's, mostly positive. I can see how people wouldn't like this movie. I can. I just thought it was good for me. Doesn't mean it's right for everyone, but for overwhelmingly positive, I'm actually pretty surprised.
Yeah. I do think that as a girly who has always enjoyed like the rom-coms of like the 90s, early 2000s.
They do not hold up well, holy smokes.
Yeah, some of them don't hold up well. But as someone who enjoyed that genre, we really have kind of gotten away from any comedy movies. Like, I think it's very hard to do a good comedy movie these days.
Because everyone just gets offended by everything. Everyone's a bit of a princess. So.
This was a movie that did it really well.
Yeah, that's right. A bit of lighthearted comedy without offending anyone. I mean, just grow up. So.
Did you want to talk about similar things to this movie, or when you would want to watch this movie?
I'll give the latter to you, but similar to this. Okay, I can tell you exactly who would enjoy this movie. If you have watched... Hang on, just bear with me for 1 second. If you have watched The Mandalorian, I think you will love this movie, because the vibe, which I was hinting at earlier, between Grace and Rocky is not that different from the bond and chemistry between the Mandalorian and Grogu. As Grogu is just having a bunch of fun in the background. Hopefully he doesn't fall over. He definitely is. Okay, I'm just going to hold you, buddy. I think that's a pretty damn close comparison in terms of the way the movie or show makes you feel. So I can almost guarantee if you enjoy The Mandalorian, well, I've watched The Mandalorian and enjoy it, and enjoy the bond between Din Djarin and Grogu, and, then you will like this movie. I can guarantee it.
Fair.
Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, totally. Yep. When to watch this movie, I would say, like, I don't know, I could see this being a good movie on like a kind of like cold, rainy day, and you just want to kind of have something a bit heartfelt, have something a bit lighthearted. But like a longer movie, 2.5 hours, like you're prepared to kind of knuckle under. I do think though, like in general, the run times of movies are getting kind of longer and longer, right?
They are. Gone are the days of the 90-minute movie. So,
which is interesting in an environment where we have so much short form content and people's attention spans are like so short. It is kind of interesting that these longer movies are a thing.
That is a fair comment. I actually have a random question for you.
Okay.
If you were going to see this movie in the cinema or even at home, what movie snacks do you recommend?
What movie snacks do I recommend? I mean, this isn't sponsored, but I mean, all popcorn is delicious.
Okay.
I do enjoy the salted caramel, whatever the pre-boxed ones at Event Cinemas. That's kind of delicious.
Okay, Event Cinemas, pre-boxed caramel popcorn. Gets a thumbs up from you.
Always like a Malteser.
Maltesers, okay. Do you like Maltesers with chocolate? Maltesers with popcorn?
Yeah, why not?
At the same time?
Yeah, where is this going?
I don't know, just...
Okay, yeah, I do.
I second that. I think popcorn's always a safe shout. Look, if you want to go, maybe a sour worm on this movie. Just chuck a sour
Oh,
worm
so
in it.
you're saying particularly for this movie that a particular snack like suits this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking a sour worm. I'm thinking it's playful. It's a bit a bit fruity.
Wait,
it's feel good.
What's a movie that a sour worm would not work for?
The Conjuring.
Oh, okay. Wait, what are you going to eat when you watch The Conjuring?
You're
Nothing at all.
Yeah. Nothing. You're too stressed.
Yeah, fair
Popcorn.
enough. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Do we know what our next movie is? There are a lot of good things coming out in the next month to 6 weeks. We've got the Mandalorian movies coming out.
That's right. Are you excited to see that?
I am very excited to see that.
Me too.
We have to finish the third season of the Mandalorian TV show. We really need to finish that.
Yep.
But thoroughly enjoying it so far.
What about Devil Wears Prada 2? When does that come out?
Is it 5th of May? Is that when it comes out?
No
Around then.
idea.
I'm very nervous because
It's got the original cast. It's got Anne Hathaway. It's got Meryl Streep. It's got Emily Blunt. It's got Stanley Tucci.
It's got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, but it's got the original cast, so even if it's trash, at least it's the original. So like, imagine if it was like really good but it didn't have any of the original people.
Yeah, we
in it.
couldn't
That would
do
suck.
that.
So I take original cast over writing and direction.
Okay.
In that type of movie,
Fair
I
enough.
think.
Fair enough.
Rather than just replacing everyone and just pretending it's the same thing. Like Jeremy Renner in The Bourne Legacy.
Poor Jeremy.
Call it a Bourne movie and not have Matt Damon in it. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think one of those two will potentially be the next episode. We'll see what happens.
yeah, well, we'll see.
If you have another suggestion, something that you want us to review,
Yeah,
particularly, it doesn't have to be a new release.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
but-
be a new release. If there's, what's your favourite movie and do you think we should review it?
They might not want us to destroy their favourite movie, but...
Look, if it's your favourite movie, I'm sure we would like it.
That's true.
So, let us know in the comments below. Yeah.
Should we talk about how to find us?
Where can you find us? Where can you find us on YouTube?
You can find us at Movie Nights Podcast with DM on
Excellent.
YouTube.
What about Instagram?
At Movie Nights Podcast.
And what about
Instagram.
Apple?
Yeah, Movie Nights Podcast with D&M on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, and on my favourite place to listen to podcasts, which is the Pocket Casts app.
The Pocket Cast app. God, I love listening to podcasts on that.
I do.
So my favourite one to listen on there, funnily enough, is Movie Night Podcast with D&M. So check it out, guys.
And if you would like to send us some fan mail, feel free to DM us on Instagram at any time or leave us a comment on YouTube. We haven't had any fan mail since the last episode, so we're looking forward to it.
Just show us the love. If you're still here, you've obviously thought that we're not the most boring people in the whole world. So that's a win. Look, do it for Grogu. For Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
He wants your comments. Look. That means give me your comments. On that note, we'll see you next time. See ya.
See ya.